Bank of Namibia on Wednesday also announced a hold on its key lending rate at 7.75%. Let's take a listen to the Namibia Central Bank Governor Johannes Gelazap for the policy members' decisions.
The Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia held its bi-monthly meeting to decide on the appropriate monetary policy stance to be implemented over the next 2 months. To continue safeguarding the peg between the Namibia dollar and the South African rand while supporting the domestic economy, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 7.75%. This decision was taken following a comprehensive review of domestic, regional, and global economic developments. Let us consider domestic developments that inform this decision. Namibia's real gross domestic product growth slowed during the second quarter of 2023, but economic activity remained firm year to date. Inflation in Namibia edged up in September 2023, while private sector credit extension growth remained weak. The merchandise trade deficit improved, and the stock of international reserves remains sufficient to support the currency peg and meet the country's international financial obligations. The recently released quarterly national accounts data indicate that the Namibian economy grew by 3.7% during the second quarter of 2023. While still firm, it remains lower compared to the 5.3% observed during the first quarter of 2023 and 8.5% in the corresponding period of 2022. The slowdown in economic growth was mainly due to contractions in sectors such as agriculture and forestry, construction, financial services, as well as public administration and defense. Year to date, the domestic economy continued to improve, primarily driven by the mining, electricity generation, tourism, and wholesale and retail sectors. Going forward, growth is projected to decline to 3.3% in 2023 from a revised growth of 7.6% for 2022 that we have received from the NSA on account of slower growth in the primary industry, following the significantly high base effects growth experienced by this industry in the previous year. Risks to the domestic economic outlook have intensified since the previous MPC meeting, mainly driven by external factors. The external factors include weakening global economic activity, tighter global monetary policy, geoeconomic fragmentation, and continued geopolitical tensions, including the recent Israel-Gaza conflict. Risks associated with the supply of electricity in South Africa seem to have recently softened, although challenges continue to persist. Internal risks include the current drought, uncertain rainfall conditions, and water supply interruptions, particularly at coastal towns. While monthly numbers have receded from levels above 7% early in 2023, Namibia's annual inflation rate averaged 6% during the first 9 months of 2023, up from 5.8% during the corresponding period in 2022. The increase in consumer price inflation in Namibia was primarily shaped by food, housing, and miscellaneous goods and services. Propelled by higher fuel prices, annual inflation increased to 5.4% in September 2023 from 4.7% in August 2023. Compared to the previous MPC meeting, the projected average inflation for 2023 has now been revised upwards by 0.3 percentage point to 5.9%. This revision was mainly on the back of the recent surge in domestic fuel pump prices. Inflation for 2024, however, is projected to slow to 4.8%. Since the previous MPC meeting, the annual growth in private sector credit extension slowed further to 2.3% in August 2023, from 3% in June 2023.